Hello, Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome. In this video, I will break down all of the latest updates we got from this month's Squadron 42 monthly report, saving you time having to read through it yourself. As always, a massive thank you to my patrons. If you do want to support this channel, follow the link to my Patreon page below, or if you'd like to hit that join button, go ahead. Also linked below is the giveaway to our Tumble Ranger 3-pack. That is going on until the 12th, so make sure you get entered. So starting with AI, the team begun to program to allow players and the AI to use usables without needing to be in an exact position, allowing for a higher fidelity when interacting with numerous usables in a single space. I think this means that if you're stood next to a desk, you can sort of reach and grab things from different items from different areas without having to constantly reposition yourself. I could be wrong though. They're also fine-tuning the FPS combat tactics, which include fighting from cover, fighting from open space, simple search behaviours and improvements to first reactions. They've made improvements to the posture manager. This is a system used during combat to understand if an AI has visibility of the player and a viable shooting direction when taking cover, which it's good that they're bringing that kind of logic in so that FPS fights against NPCs should be more interesting. For animation, the new jump has been focused on. This is more fluid and the player can now jump forwards, backwards or sideways, and also jump while running. They've also finished usables like beds, seats and consoles. I assume this is in regards to just player animations getting in and out. They've also worked on immediate exits from cover when being attacked, so making sure that you're keeping your head down maybe. They've caught up all the female animation sets. Now it will always be worked alongside the male version, so they're no longer behind for the female character. It should just be one for one, so no more being blinded by boxes. Also, animation has worked on a few new weapons and assisted on attachments, melees and takedowns. Very much looking forward to attachments coming in 3.6. For character art, the team has continued to explore the aliens of Squadron 42. Not sure what they mean by plural, so we know of the Vandal, we know they're going to be in Squadron 42. The Jan and Banu are heavily integrated with the human population. Taveran, maybe not. We know there's a Taveran diplomat at the moment, but I do believe that that was post Squadron 42 rather than during the events of. It could be other creatures, we just don't know. I'd love to know your thoughts on that one. They've also done work on the material library, which affects all armors and outfits in the game, just improving the visual quality, and the hair pipeline tools are being built and tested to help achieve this higher quality hair that we hear about. So for environment art, the team worked on the exterior of the Javelin, ensuring that there are parts which can be used for this new push and pull mechanic that's coming down the line. This, I think, is going to be quite useful, especially if you're needing to EVA and fix part of the ship, if you're not wearing an EVA jet suit. Basically, we have the undersuits, we have our armor sets. You'll also need to attach EVA jets. They're not just going to come standard like they are at the moment. And I'm sure as time goes on, they will add these push-pull areas on ships, on a lot of the other ships as well for the exterior areas. They've also nearly completed the work on the organic shader tech. They will start iterating this on the asteroid sets. Significant effort has gone into ensuring that the Acheron station, which is that large mining station we see in Squadron 42, making sure that the interior of the station is fully realised and it's not just going to be room, corridor. It's going to be a lot more unique and interesting. It would be amazing to be able to explore that fully. Or, once they get it into the PU, having a derelict version of that will be very Dead Space-esque. Now, they're deep into development of a key comm array, which is seen in the campaign of Squadron 42. This has its own unique style that mixes retro design and plenty of real-world references as well. Not sure what that involves in the game, but we'll see. The volumetric skybox work continues around the coil. It's been receiving attention which merges the new wind mechanics. I didn't know there were new wind mechanics, so I'm hoping we hear about that soon. But they are merging the wind mechanics with the new flight model, which helps the team to understand how best to set up space locations with the speed and scale of the campaign's ships. I do wonder if this is sort of wind tech and weather based, or if it's more just related to the flight system and having wind affect the ships. I'm hoping we'll see a bit more on weather. For the weapon art, they have started production on the Hedeby Gunworks Salvo Frag Pistol and the Bayring GP33 MOD grenade launcher. 3.6 seems very early to be getting grenade launches in, considering hand grenades don't work yet. But also, we did get to see this little Gravlev picture. It's not mentioned at all in the monthly report for Squadron 42, but this is, I expect, what we will get eventually, something along these lines, for being able to transport cargo boxes on and off of our ships if they are too big to just hold with one hand. This is how we'll do it. So for cinematics, they've done a major code revision for track view, which enables the player to seamlessly transition in and out of cutscenes when they like. So you can watch it from your own perspective if you would like, or you can just jump in to their own angle. But this stops the sudden jarring motion that you've seen in many modern game cutscenes when it jumps back and forth. For engineering, they've made progress on the head look feature. Basically, they've restricted the look movement depending on whether the player is carrying a weapon or what their pose is, ensuring that it doesn't clip through the geometry. I believe also that if you're wearing heavy armor, your view distance will be restricted as well, whereas obviously light armor, you'll have more motion. They've worked on melee takedowns and punching and knife attacks. Soon we will have our fight club, can't wait. And they're also working on a feature which allows the bartender, for example, to deliver a drink to a patron, whether they're standing, sitting, or sat at a table. Makes it less specific and limited, which means it looks more realistic, I expect. For graphics, they've completed the final touches on the gas clouds and integrated the volumetric shadows into the fog system to fix a handful of bugs. Very much looking forward to seeing this. For level design, they have made a solid start on the bridge crew behaviours to enable crew to realistically interact with various prop items and other NPCs in a fully systemic way. The outer Odin levels for Squadron 42 were put into their correct object containers and now can be travelled to in-game. Odin is the system which a lot of the Squadron 42 campaign is set, so it sounds like we may have the ability to explore further afield. Whether we're restricted somewhat, we're yet to find out, but it's nice that the most of Odin's there. Could be the next system we see, we never know. For tech art, they have implemented version 2 of the internal face customizer. This introduced asymmetry to distinct regions of the faces to make them look more natural and realistic. And also they have a tool now that makes it easier to create unique looking NPCs while being more efficient than ever before. So always making those advancements. And if you didn't know, faces are not symmetrical, so most games I think just make faces symmetrical. So adding this little subtle asymmetry to distinct areas could mean that faces look a lot more realistic. For UI, they've focused on Acheron, adding logos and signs to create more of an industrial feel for the facility, with focus on background screens for machinery and the bridge area. Also, they've got an ongoing development for the central ship HUD, which includes indicators for velocity, G-force, afterburner, ESP, and some new mechanics, such as the thruster strength limiter, which is good. It's nice that that's coming back, and the radar altimeter, which we will get on the Gladius first for 3.6, and then if it works well, they will push it out to other ships. This is good news. I didn't know we were getting the thruster strength limiter back again. It was shown off at CitizenCon and then just completely removed. This, I think, is very useful, especially for maintaining your wear and tear on your thrusters, so it's good news. Finally, visual effects. They have investigated new shaders, including tests for water and raindrop accumulation on ship canopies, which sounds very exciting. They've also made improvements to the particle imposter shader, which works for scrolling smoke or dust effects in the distance, and they have continued on the gas cloud tech, looking into how it can be used in non-gas cloud locations like asteroid fields, for example. Anyway, that is your monthly report for Squadron 42. It will be very interesting to see how this Gladius HUD helps us out in 3.6 and if that information is useful. I'm hoping in the upcoming weeks and months that we get to see a lot more on this gas cloud tech and weather itself. I feel like it's a good time to start getting weather effects in. But do let me know what you're most excited for there. As always, make sure you subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. Follow me over on twitch.tv/supermacbrothers. Hit that like button. Tick the notification bell. Be sure to enter that giveaway as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you next time.